This is Van Electric Ghost, and this is our discussion of the first song on Dark Ghost, which is called If Love Has No Ceiling, Why Is My Heart on the Floor? This is the song that really cemented the concept for the Dark Ghost albums, and they're going to be albums. As I said, this release is going to be on vinyl and also on CD. And the length of this album is kind of dictated by the ability to have two vinyl albums as the first volume. This particular song was somewhat of a revelation. It was created after we got our Eurorack and the Make Noise Morphogene module, which is responsible for the haunting kind of ghost voicings that occur on this beginning of this track and throughout the track. It's a Phantom Electric Ghost song that's run in a tape loop backwards through the Morphogene, and we use the Morphogene capabilities to kind of play the filter of this Make Noise module. This particular song also had us playing, live piano on our Juno over the kind of haunting ghost vocal. And the idea of this particular track is about, at the micro level, loss, loss of a relationship, the loss of, the connection that you have with someone. Because the idea is like, okay, if love doesn't have a ceiling, if there's no end to how you can feel, then why is, Josephine's heart on the floor? And in this particular song, the original, source of the inspiration of this is actually somebody in my life that we kind of had a relationship that fell apart. And it felt like I was being used. And I kind of refer to myself, or Josephine refers to herself as being, taken advantage of like a whore. And the idea that, if love has no ceiling, why is my heart on the floor? I mean, that's the real whole concept is like you kind of left me with like nothing. There's no passion. There's no love. There's no anything that you can hold on to. And it's a very kind of haunting song. We did it in a way that I like to refer to as like the ditch. If you go back to Neil Young and his trilogy, the Ditch trilogy, because after Harvest, he decided that he didn't want to be a big pop star, so he purposely kind of sabotaged his gold level success and actually started to create albums that were more challenging and personal and were kind of raggedy, but raggedy in a good way. So when you have the albums like Time Fades Away, which was recorded live, and it's kind of got a lot of haunting tales of, self-abuse, addiction, polluted, LA and personal strife when he was growing up, the pain of being bullied. This is a very personal record. For a long time, it wasn't available. Neil didn't, had put it out back in the 70s. Then he pulled it. For a long time, it wasn't available. Now it's available again. And then you have On the Beach, which is more a cleaner record than Time Fades Away or Tonight's the Night, but still kind of goes into personal issues in terms of his own fame and kind of retreating from fame and talking about, all kinds of issues, like even, Charlie Manson and all kinds of, corporate, villains like oil barons and other, bad actors. And then you get Tonight's the Night, which is all about the loss of his roadie and the loss of his collaborator from drug addiction, Bruce Berry, and, it goes on and on. But those albums have a feel that's kind of this loose falling apart that's in a somewhat controlled way because it's not not unlistenable. But the idea of this Dark Ghost track was to bring that to electronic music, this kind of feel that you get from maybe the Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat, this Ditch trilogy from Neil Young, Big Star's Third, which has got the same kind of feel as the Ditch trilogy. And so I wanted to bring that to electronic music. And I think today, if you listen to someone else who has this kind of methodology or concept in music, is Earl Sweatshirt on some rap songs, which is really got this kind of Ditch trilogy concept of loose deconstruction, personal issues is kind of where I was shooting for, and not exactly trying to be a perfect recording, but sometimes the imperfections of what you're doing or what you're trying to get at. So, this particular song also goes hand in hand with another song that's on the album that's got the same kind of feel that you'll get toward the end of the album. It's called The Highest Tree in the Canopy, which was another song that was done in a similar way. We didn't use a morphogene at that time, but it has a similar feel, and we'll go into that song when we get to it. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. This is Phantom Electric Ghost, and this is episode 108, The Road to Our New Album, Dark Ghost Volume 1. We had created Phantom Electric Ghost albums back in 2016. We had a trio of albums, Something Wicked, Indigo Menace, and Synesthesia, Sweet Neo, Soul Surrender. They all were available on CD, and they were on all the streaming services. Now they're just available on CD on Amazon.com. So over the last 2 years since 2016, as the Ghost, as Phantom Electric Ghost, we've increased our capabilities. We've written a lot of music. We've gone through a lot of personal issues in our life. My father passed away from Alzheimer's. I had a breakup of a working relationship with an artist on my last album, and Dark Ghost kind of came out of all the social issues that are out there in the world today, plus my own personal issues, and decided to kind of take the idea of darkness in life and focus on that in song, and take the moments that were really challenging and express my frustration through music. And so Dark Ghost, we probably created over 100 tracks, and we decided to break them down into volumes. This particular version of the album is unique in that for a long time I was saying that the title track Dark Ghost and the song Sonic Twin would always be on the record, and this version of the record doesn't have those. So in a later version, we'll have those songs. But I was feeling a different vibe for this particular volume. So we decided to create a version that was focused on a 2 vinyl album format, which is not what we had done for the other versions. And so we came up with a different track list, a different vibe. And what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to briefly go through all the tracks. There is one bonus track here called Deep Green that will be on the CD. There'll be the difference between the CD and the vinyl. So the rest of this episode, we're going to have a short, low discussion before every song or after every song about what each song is about. So I hope you enjoy it. We're hoping to have more information on the vinyl and CD versions of this album. Right now, we're just going to talk about it here. And the configurations of this on our SoundCloud, but the physical albums will be available shortly. And we'll talk about where you can get the vinyl and where you can get the CD and an update to this episode. Thank you. So this song is called Cruel Dude on the Roof. And it came from this idea that is in this album that we had done this project we were working on for Monsters Tea Party, a collective in France. And we were supposed to go there, but it didn't really work out. We ended up not being able to do it. We created a video for them. We had this concept of this idea, which was another album called Analog Girl and Rooftop Dude. And it had this concept of you take the Drifters idea of up on the roof. And that was like this really nice romantic rendezvous where you have, the soul man on the roof with his girlfriend having a nice romantic interlude. In the modern world, that dude on the roof is now the cruel dude, and he's taking advantage of his partner. He's, making her feel psychologically imbalanced. He's being very vile. And in a way, this song actually, because Josephine's singing it, it's actually about, in my life, it's about a woman that I refer to as a dude, because that was kind of a pet name for her. And she kind of knows who she is. But the idea is this person's like in, dark part. The darkness in this album is that they have this dark part of their personality that draws people in, and then they take advantage. And so I flipped the sex and made it the dude, but the person that I'm talking about knows who they are. And it just has a lot of dissonance. So we have white noise going on coming from our Moogs that is part of the whole kind of disruption of the concept. And the song is, Josephine just is going through the psychological aspects of this dissonance and this relationship that's falling apart. It's a heavy synth song. It's using a lot of different synths in our collective capability, from Moogs to Rolands to Arturias to make noise modules. Just trying to mix it up with a new wave sound. So it's a little happier in its appearance. It's kind of like a Church's song, and its kind of happiness of the beat, more of a new wave exercise and kind of lo-fi. But the lyrical content is a little dark in terms of this idea of the rooftop dude. In this part, the original concept of rooftop dude and analog girl, like Josephine was the analog girl, and the girls with the GRRRL from like a Riot Girl idea. And it's just, it was a favorite of ours. We've spent some time trying to alter the mix and bring the white noise down a little bit, but it is a big part of the concept. And we did, remaster it for this version. And I hope you enjoy it.
It's a blue moon, and so it's not your moon. It's a blue moon, and you're one straight dude. You won't show you're cool, but you show that you're cruel. You do what you gotta do, but you're nobody's fool. It's a blue moon, and you're such a straight dude. The sunrise not your best move, but you do what you gotta do. You know it, you like to show, you like to show you're cruel. I think I've really seen you, baby, alone. When you say I got that confused, the window crude. I know it's all false. You're fainting that crew. You're faking that too. rather see you than see you be a loser. I'd rather see you be cruel than play a fool. I know it's obvious. I know you're losing, but you wanna tell me just 'cause you're blue. Now you think you're Josephine, it's just another fool. I can't blame that Carter, right? 'Cause I must be confused. It's a blue moon, and it's coming soon. You think that I'm all consumed, but you my darling dude. It's a blue moon, and it's always a bruise. I know that you're so cruel, and you like to get loose. I know I'm not a good kind of girl that needs to go back to school. And you got a chain of fool. You got a blue moon that signs the proof that you're gonna play that game until you get up on the roof. Gonna play that game until you get up on the roof. You wonder what's really what, and who's really blue. Who's really blue? And who's in the mood? Who's really blue? Yeah, and who's in the mood? Who's really blue? And who's really the fool? Who's really blue? And who's really cruel? You're so strange, and my dude. You wanna show me? You wanna show me the proof? You tell me you bring me up to. You bring me up to that roof. You show me that you're cruel, and you're nobody's fool. You show me what you need to show me, and do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Show me you're cruel, and show me you're nobody's fool. You show me that blue moon, your passion is just too real. You tell me I don't know how to feel. When you got me in that tourniquet, I think I know how to feel. You told me I feel it, and down in my soul. And I look up to the moon and show me how you lose all control. Really show me how to feel your soul.
So this particular song is called Esclavage, and it comes from our kind of dominatrix bondage S&M phase that we've been going through this year. We had a couple of projects like Pain is Everything and a lot of other concepts that kind of came and went. And so part of the overall Dark Ghost theme is to include some of these sadomasochist songs, and this is one of them, probably the first one on the record. And esclavage is the French word for bondage. So we kind of masked it, and the whole idea is the Phantom is taking the lead on this particular song. And he's basically talking about, a kid who could be, one of the modern hipsters today, that he feels he's going into the kind of this old school kind of hip hop construction that, he's aiming for this kid who he thinks is an upstart, that, he doesn't think this kid has a right to be on the stage. He doesn't have a right to be on the scene. So he's targeting him in a metaphorical way. He kind of targeted him for like gunplay, which is, typical kind of hip hop language. Not that it's really meant to be that, but, the Phantom, typically we use the Phantom to do these hip hop type of rap things where he takes on the role of a kind of gangster type rapper in a way, and talks about gunplay, talks about taking people out, and you think they're talking about that shot, you think he got that spot for that shot. And so then we also have a different thing. We've been playing with the Roland Juno GI had these human kind of voiceover stuff that's built into the keyboard. And we decided to do a voicing that kind of implies, in the chorus at the beginning of the voicing, like, fuck you. It kind of goes on doing that, and then it devolves into other types of voicings. But, there's this, this kind of theme of, just being abrasive. And the song just goes on and on. It was a long song when we originally wrote it. What's included here is the 14-minute version. The version that we actually put on the record is cut down to like 7 minutes. So for this particular episode, you get to hear the whole thing. We kind of cut it down and edited it, because at the end of it, it kind of devolves a little bit. So we felt for the vinyl, it wouldn't work at the 14-minute level, but you get to hear the whole thing here. And we hope you enjoy it. We had some feedback that some people were bouncing to this when we put it out on our SoundCloud. Again, this whole configuration, this album is out on our SoundCloud. But the benefit of this particular configuration is that this is going to be the vinyl version, 2 vinyls. And we did the artwork. We did all the production. Take it or leave it. But we are an indie outfit, and we really believe, we truly believe in this album. We've been working on it for a long time. It is the part of a series of records, and the bondage theme continues. We'll talk a little bit about it more in the next track.
I think I had that same spot. I think I had a dead shot. I think I had that same spot. I think I have a dead thought, yeah. I think I had that
Live We're
doing careless affair. You're not standing, you sit there and stare. You're a positive, you sit there and glare. You wonder how I got that pretty grandma hair. You wonder why the fear pulls me down there. You're just standing and stare. You're a bystander, but you're not aware. We always go there. The place where darkness is right there, that's not fair. I know it's not fair. But I'm gonna pull you right there. And just stand right there. And take it until you don't have any more hair. Take it till you're not there. I probably when you feel it home. And push your mouth on your head. Let them build on the front. But we don't like cause we're red. When it comes on the line, cause we're red. When I'm scared, little bit. And then you're not cause we're red. We're not afraid out there. We're good for your life cause we're red. We're not scared of death. We're living life cause we're red. We're not scared of death. Feel the full effect. Being red. Feel the full effect of a little death. Feel the full effect of being rich. Feel the full effect of being dead. Feel the full effect. It's all the same. Feel the full effect of being red. Feel the full effect of being dead.
This song is called Hate Couture. And this song is kind of an idea we were tossing around since, late 2017, the idea of a hate fade bait. And then we kind of devolved it into hate couture. So, the idea of this like fashion, like a hate derived fashion. And then we also kind of have it represent the kind of like a hipster hate within a relationship. So this relationship kind of refers to somebody that Josephine is having a scene with, and kind of refers to, well, this person is like in film, or they're an actor or whatever. And that they, the relationship is falling apart, and they're remembering it in a hazy way. So it's idea that like Josephine is, drunk or high, and kind of remembering this scene with this individual that just kind of devolved from love into hate, and this kind of fashionable hate that where they're just, the idea of a hater out there in the blogosphere, the idea of a person, that you end up blocking, that you end up being disconnected from. And this is about the disconnection and dissonance. And then we've got kind of this heavy death metal riff that we do. And it's, supposed to be really heavy guitar. It actually is a synth. It's a Roland GI. It's part of what we try to do in our music, is use our synthesizers to mimic guitars. And then we've got this very haunting synth, ghost-like voicing that's happening on a different track that we did a combination of different synths there, System 1M, Moog, and Roland and Arturia to get those effects, plus an MX1 mixer. So it just has a kind of haunting feel, similar to the tracks that the first track of the album had this kind of ghost voicing. This is less guttural and frightening and more kind of sci-fi based. But it continues this kind of concept of dissonance and disconnection and the falling apart of the actual Dark Ghost title track song, which is not on this album, but will be on the next volume. But it goes into the idea that there are some souls that you shouldn't move toward because it'll just devolve into hate or disconnection. So that's what this song's about.
I got a hazy recollection of you. When I'm fading, I sometimes see the truth. I got a hazy recollection of you. When I'm fading, sometimes I feel the truth. I can't lose. I can remember that I see it with you. I thought you were honest, I thought you wanted to have you. But you know there's always a two-way screw. You learn how to use both screws. Can't lose. I got a hazy recollection of the truth. And that's got nothing to do with you. I'm blue when I'm fading. Sometimes I feel the truth. Sometimes I fear to. Sometimes I fear to. When I'm crazy, sometimes I remember the truth. Has nothing to do with you. Oh, nothing to do with you. I got nothing to do with you. I got a hazy recollection of the truth. Oh, it's got nothing to do with you. My rooftop dude. You're always doing what you do. And this harmony, it follows you. That's the truth. I got a hazy recollection of the truth. When I'm fading, all I see is you. I got a hazy recollection of you. And when I'm fading, all I see is you. My rooftop dude. My rooftop dude. I got a hazy recollection of truth. When I'm fading, all I see is you. My rooftop dude. The only thing we can lose is the truth. The only thing we can lose is lose to that dude. That's the proof. Got a hazy recollection of you. When I'm faded, I sometimes feel you. And that's my rooftop dude. Yeah. 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 I got a hazy recollection of truth. When I'm faded, sometimes I feel
Sometimes I get a hazy vision of you. Sometimes I get a recollection, but I do. It's all about bamboo. Sometimes I get a hazy recollection of the truth. Can't lose. It's all got to do with my rooftop news. My rooftop news. My rooftop news. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm so glad that's the truth. It's got a lot to do with that. Rooftop news. I got the blues. I got the blues. I got the blues. I can't lose. I got the blues. I can't lose.
The Whip That Made You Bleed is our electro-funk sadomasochist dominatrix workout. We had a feeling for this that was similar to what we did with Central Number 9 on Synesthesia, which is out on CD, the Synesthesia Sweet Neo Soul Surrender album, where we think Central Number 9 was kind of our first kind of electro-funk Minneapolis sound Prince workout. And this song has a similar structure. It's got like a robotic kind of bass drum beat that we created. And then we're using the Moog DFAM to do that. And we also used our Arturia Mini Root 2S to create the kind of percussive synth sounds that are not drums, but they're percussive analog synth tones. They're running on a sequence that's low off the beat from the bass tone comes from the DFAM. And then we have some synthesized guitar and synthesized sounds going over it. It's a long funk workout, but it's kind of a jam that we got into. And Josephine's role as an S&M goddess, and she's very extreme. It's kind of got these ideas coming from like Velvet Underground and Nico and Lou Reed. Had the lyric, "Taste the Whip" from that album, and the idea is like Josephine's in the dungeon in a S&M situation. You can imagine her all wrapped up in leather, with thigh-high boots and a whip and chains, and she's just going off. And it's the consensual sex we're talking about. Is domination, sadomasochism, fetishes, and this idea of Dark Ghost is it goes into that dark area of passion where you have this kind of consensual people, giving up some of their, will to feel this kind of pleasure that they get from this level of dissonance or pain that brings this pleasure, and kind of goes into like how that works out. And this song kind of it is the representation of that feeling, and it's probably the most danceable song on the album. But because of its content, it's probably not going to be a big dance hit. But it's kind of what we do with our art is we're not trying to make a number one EDM song. We're doing what we feel And this album has been about, going into that part of your personality where you explore things that maybe aren't popular things to talk about. It's not where you're going to go and talk to John about the game when you're talking about the whip that made you bleed. You're not going to talk to, Sally about this while you're having coffee. It's kind of the thing that, you're going to probably keep in that dark place they're hidden. But we're bringing it out into the daylight with this album. And that's the whole concept. So some people might not like it, might not be your cup of tea. But, not every dominatrix is going to be your cup of tea. Cold Steel is a little bit of a different track. We're experimenting pretty heavy with our Roland vocal transformer, in this case a VT4. We've used 3 different Roland vocal synth transformers. We originally used a JDXI capability back in 2016 when we first started Be the Ghost. And this song that we're discussing is called Cold Steel. And we've got Stephanie Ann Windhover on the lead. Now, Stephanie Ann Windhover is Josephine's sister. Josephine's last name also is Windhover. And there's a whole kind of religious meaning into Windhover. It kind of represents kind of a Christian concept of a higher power. And we kind of mixed it up in that these are ghosts. They've got kind of superpowers, and they're very, ethereal, but they can be material. But the idea in this song is Stephanie, his voice is being created by that VT4. It's got a kind of Prince-like Camille aspect, because I'm a big fan of Prince's Camille experiments and work. And so Stephanie's voice, in this case, has got this very high pitch and format through the VT4. And she's talking about the idea that, a phantom or a ghost shouldn't have emotion. Their emotions could be like cold steel, but like a gun. It's very cold. It's very, numbing. It's, not something you would think would have any emotion. But then she talks about herself in the third person. And he says, like, if a ghost isn't supposed to be real or not supposed to feel, then why she got tears in her eye? And he talks about this situation where her lover, kind of left her on the floor after a bad experience, a bad situation. Maybe it's a sexual assault or something, and basically has called her a whore and told her to leave, and talks about, the person is saying they got to go, send her out through every open door and just get rid of her. So they just want to totally X her out. And sometimes what happens with my characters of Josephine and Stephanie, they live in the real world and try to have relationships with humans, and then sometimes it goes bad, and the human being they interacted with might not even know they're a ghost because they've gone into this material mode where they've actually, been physical and physically can be seen and dealt with, and in a relationship way. And Stephanie, appears to have tried to have a real relationship with this person, and they've totally just left her hurt and, bleeding and totally, kind of very affected when the idea of the song Cold Steel was like, where they really shouldn't be affected, because they should have this kind of really stiff upper lip, that they shouldn't feel anything because they're stronger than that. But this shows the frailty in their personalities, which I try to, dive into. And so in this way, this song has a feel. It's kind of a new wave, kind of Minneapolis sound, Camille kind of song, but then it's got this darkness in it, and that, this person calling her a whore, calling her an untoward fuck, and, it must be out of luck because, there's no hope of ever getting back to any kind of real situation, which is transferable to a situation that happened to me, and the person knows who she is. And, this whole album has kind of been about that person. And it's just my reaction to what I felt was somewhat being used. So I felt like I was used. And in this album, you hear this line where I feel Stephanie and Josephine are both saying they feel like they're being used like whores, that someone's really taking advantage of them and just throwing them out. And it's probably, not to put it down on a regional thing, but there's some people in Hollywood that seem to, be users, and they're not real, and they're real fake. And this album is kind of a reaction to that kind of culture of people being fake and, laying all kinds of praise on you when it's all just designed to manipulate you. And so this is the kind of part of the Dark Ghost, is the microcosm level of being abused and used psychologically. And that's not about control. It's about being used. which is not cool.
Inside the cold steel, oh, what's unreal? And we try not to feel. Oh, we use and abuse all those things that are used to make you confused. And inside the cold steel, oh, what makes us unreal? Makes it so you can't feel, darling. Inside the cold steel, oh, what's unreal? You know, phantasm can't feel. But so why Stephanie got those tears in her eyes? Why she's got those wounds in her mind? Oh, inside the cold steel, oh, what a phantasm of feels. Your laughter on the floor. You said you was a whore. You said you gotta show her every open door. You said that you know, don't need her anymore. So she's headed for a door. If love has no ceiling, why's her heart on the floor? You don't need her anymore. If love has no ceiling, and there's no feeling, we're all on your head. It has no meaning. Oh, has no meaning. So there can't be feeling. You just fuck without listening. Oh, if love is no meaning, then why am I breathing? With Josephine, Stephanie, we hit the ceiling. Oh, cold steel. Oh, we can't feel what you want us to be real. Well, we can touch you, and you can touch me. You can't touch Josephine. You can't touch Stephanie. You can feel us so clean. But you don't have to be mean. Cold steel, it's what we feel. You know, emotions can't be real. Where we go, where we can fucking know. Where we go, sort up some August snow. Where we go, feed our addiction, feel your affliction. It's no fiction. Cold steel, none of those dead flowers are real. And hanging on your grave, cold steel, the pain's so real. Some type of heartbreak you can't heal. Cold steel, some kind of heartbreak so real. No, you can't heal. Yeah, cold steel, sometimes heartbreak so real. You just can't be healed anymore. Oh, you call me an untoward whore. Oh, so real. Sometimes a heartbreak you can't heal. You call me an untoward fuck, you know that's real. Oh, dear. Just said I was an untoward fuck, and that's real. Guess you don't feel. You're just a fuck. You don't care good luck. You just fuck. And then you're stuck. Oh, the heartbreak's so real. Untoward fuck you can't feel. And heartbreak's so real. It's doubtful you'll ever heal. Heartbreak's so real. Untoward fuck can't be real.
Rooftop Dude Dysphoria continues the concept of the Rooftop Dude project and also intersperses the concept of if love has a ceiling, then why am I still reeling over you? And in this song, we have Stephanie again, taking the lead. And it's a totally different mix. We ran a different type of filter on it. It sounds different than any other song in our catalog. My best friend, Tim Barry, really loved this song. It's kind of why it's on the album. He's been a friend since I was in elementary school. We used to play Lego together. We were big comic book collectors, loved Jack Kirby, loved all kinds of cool things. Big music fans. We talk about music all the time. I kind of bounce concepts about him. We talk about every genre possible, from Coltrane to the Ramones. So just a nod to my friend Tim Barry. So this song takes the idea of the rooftop dude, and Stephanie's, talking about reeling over this person, and really being in pain and having this kind of dysphoria. And the whole idea in this Phantom Like the Ghost is like we mix female and male voicings in Stephanie and Josephine and the Ghost. And they're all me. So it's kind of dysphoria is like, is it a sexual dysphoria? Why am I mixing these female and male concepts? But also this the relationship dysphoria of being hurt by this rooftop dude. And again, this idea that flipping the Drifter's idea that it's not an amicable or beautiful relationship on the roof. It's a relationship where maybe the protagonist is going to throw themselves off the roof because of the pain of the relationship. So it's kind of that darkness that drives you to that roof where you might make that bad decision. And you're still reeling about somebody. And, if love, has a ceiling, then why are you still reeling? And that's common theme, comes from the first song on the album. It was that project that we tried to do with the Monsters Tea Party, and we had created a video, and there's a whole concept. There's a bunch of songs that are on Spotify that are under that tag. But we decided to mix this idea and bring it into this album. So that's what this song is about. And it has a totally different mix. As I said, we ran a different filter on our MX1 performance mixer. And, we'll probably try this again, but sometimes we don't like to do the same mix twice. And this is a particularly, unique sound for this song, and we like it. And it's different than anything we have in our catalog, and we're happy to put it on this album. Highest Tree in the Canopy is a song we wrote right after the breakup of our relationship with a collaborator that everybody probably knows who they are, but I'm not going to get into it. But they are who I refer to as the rooftop dude. And this song I wrote right after that really bad breakup of our relationship and took the idea, a couple ideas of you got this, a tree in the forest tries to be at the highest level to get the sunlight in the canopy of the forest. And I try to compare, like, love should be like that tree trying to reach that light rather than, the rest of the trees in the forest are kind of in darkness and not able to get to that light. And the idea that you have a relationship, you're like these trees together and you got, you're hoping to reach for the light, but then you might be, slung into the darkness of that canopy of the forest that you might be, the leaves on the ground, like dead August leaves that you fall apart. And this song was very passionate. There was a version that was a little too personal for me that I did in my phantom voice or my normal voice rather than Josephine's voice. This song initially on SoundCloud, it got a lot of good reaction. We got over 500, plays and a lot of likes on it. When we wrote it, we were always kind of hesitant to put it out because it's so personal. It's a very personal song. Kind of goes through this idea of, relationship just fracturing and falling apart. And the idea that you also in here that like somebody leaves you before you leave them. And, basically Josephine's saying, no matter what you think, you might have thought that I broke it off with you first, but you were actually pulling away from me like the whole time. And it's like the whole idea is of a relationship where somebody's disconnecting and they're not being truthful. They're not being honest about what they feel or, just the idea if you were so enamored with somebody that you had a working relationship and you said you loved everything they were doing. And then you have a fight, you have a disconnection because the person feels they were slighted. Like, holidays come and you don't send a Christmas card, you don't say Merry Christmas, but you're saying this is your best friend. What best friend do you not wish happy holidays to or not acknowledge, a holiday? Now, this person was going through a lot of tragedies and stuff, and so maybe you're being asked for too much for them to be, a human being and have concern outside themselves. But, some people, when they're going through their own thing, maybe they can't. And so that's part of the fracture. Is me, I wasn't, or Josephine or me, but it's really about me in the song, that I wasn't sensitive enough to know to kind of hang on and be patient and wait for this person to get back from their they're saying that they were like numb to the situation because a lot of bad things happened. And maybe I wasn't understanding enough. But my whole issue with this particular concept is if you're friends with somebody and you have a fight, you don't just totally just disappear and just totally break it off, especially after you've created some really good art. But then you still allow that art to be in your name and their name, but you won't talk to that person. And I felt that that's, a bad, deficient part of that person's character. My deficient part of the character was I wasn't patient enough. Maybe I wasn't empathetic enough. Maybe we both are kind of two peas in a pod. We're too about ourselves to actually work because we're two A-level people. And there was ego involved and sensitivity involved. I made a mistake of, blocking the person or, initially unfavoriting or unconnecting from them because it's kind of lashing out at I felt a slight. And we had made arrangements to do something and then the person just didn't show up. They had sat there and watched me flailing about on the net trying to communicate and didn't respond. And, I don't know if it's an LA thing or just an insensitivity thing or just a result or whatever, but it was a very painful experience. And this song is representative of a type of songwriting that captures an allegory all these things I'm talking about. and this person knows who they are, and I'm very, frustrated with this person. They still to this day, it's a big heart pain. I kind of refer to it as a heart pain, and this is my kind of dig at them. But in a way, it's a beautiful song. It's an idea that like, we should try to go for the higher angels. We should try to be that higher tree in the canopy. And I acknowledge, that, there are things I probably did and, that messed it up and it just totally wrecked it and it can't come back. But, this is what it is. This is what's true. So that's the most, honest song on the album when it comes to it. And I'm just telling the truth about it. So that's what it is.
It was never my intention. Fall in love with you. Just happened, my darling dear. I never thought about it, too hard or true. I realized my heart was caught, and I didn't know what to do. Never realized the depth of feeling got my hormone reeling. Now it's so revealing that feeling. Never wanted fall in love with you, my darling, my darling dude. Never really wanted fall in love with you. Now you know what that pain and that truth. Never really wanted these feelings yet. Never really wanted that feeling yet. But my darling dude, you left me before I left you. Real with the tragedy of these times, burning fires and losses that boggle my mind. Never thought they would ever get so deep inside that sonic landscape. In both our minds, we created music from fantasy, and now that is a reality. It'll last forever, more than eternity. Sorry if that's not the same, but what used to be you and me. Wait for your feeling, were you feeling that way? Of all those negative ways. I already know you're walking away from all those feelings and those negative ways. Never wanted to fall in love with you always. My darling dude, you left me before I ever left you. That's a feeling I'm feeling, but I know it's true. If we're meant to be, the music will bring me back to you. Darling, darling dude, you left me before I ever left you. It was meant to be, like the tallest tree in the canopy. Love will reach for light. It won't feel like a lie. There won't be so many secrets to hide. There's so many things that are not truths. There won't be no secrets to hide. There won't be no lies inside. Things that make you feel the tragedy inside. When you're left with a love with no love, you're an addict, you got nowhere to hide. You're left with the love that leaves you with no love. You're left with like an addict, but with nothing just. You know how I feel with a numbness that you can't touch. Out there with no love, out there with no love, with no love. Feel like an addict, but out there dry. You know this feeling where there is no touch. You wonder how you got there, and you feel so fucked. You wonder how you got here, and you feel so fucked. You left me before I ever left you. And that feeling, by God, it's too much truth. Left with an ever deepening of blue. And I know I'm running just like you. And I know with the Sonic's plan, that we could be friends all too. We're so fragile, locked up. We're fragile and so fucked up. And now I know every time. Oh, that's so tough. Oh, that's so tough.
Deadly Charm is the final track on Dark Ghost Volume 1. It's the Phantom back on the vocals. And it's basically talking about self-mutilation and self-abuse. It is, a dark song. It's basically saying, I'm so devastated by your charm, won't you? You can tell by looking at my arm. So it's implying that there's cutting going on, and the Phantom is, kind of not what you would expect from a strong male character that usually is the kind of hip hop voice in the band, the kind of, machismo in the band, and he's been totally disarmed by the deadly charm of his love interest. And it just, he's falling apart, and he's taken like a bad, turn in that instead of looking at his own failings in the situation, he's kind of laying it on the other person. He's saying that the other person has caused him to be this way. This is kind of just psychologically representing what a lot of people do. A lot of people will blame their love interest for their own abuse, self-abuse that they do themselves. They'll say that is that person's fault, but really this song is trying to show how crazy and sick that is, that, the self-harm is because you have done something or you've taken something the wrong way, and you're doing it to yourself. No one else is taking that razor to your arm. No one else is doing that drug abuse to the point of self-destruction. And what we find a lot of times in life, a lot of stars, they hide their pain. and then they kind of just blow up and burn out. We get big examples like this year. We have Mac Miller. We've got in the past Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, people just burning out and fading away, Graham Parsons. A lot of examples in the history of music and art and film of folks not being able to sustain that kind of like, I think the people who are stars want that adoration, they want that validation. And sometimes if they don't get it at a personal level or they feel lacking, they'll take it out on themselves. And they, as artists, they try to channel it through their work. They try to do things that, will not hurt them and try to make it positive. At the end of the day, if there's too much of that energy, you might X yourself out. And so Deadly Charm is referring to that, and it's not giving any kind of solution because Dark Ghost isn't over. There's going to be a volume 2. But it just, it doesn't leave you with a happy face. This kind of self-harm talk is just not to glamorize it, but to kind of show what it is. And sometimes you could feel that way and, hurt yourself. And just a reminder that it's not something you should glorify. It's not something that you should, think it's going to make you artistically valid or give you your bones, make you a method actor or a method musician. You should just try to live and get beyond it. So Dark Ghost, we're trying to exercise these demons and get beyond it. We thank our protagonist in this situation, the person that gave us all this inspiration, that made us feel all these things. We created this work, and we are thankful that we had that situation, that we actually knew that person, and that we were able to, use this experience to create this work. And we hope that one day that we can sit down and have a conversation or even a face-to-face talk, because we feel that we could have done a lot more with this person. And maybe that's what the biggest hurt is in this project, is everything we've done has been about that person. And we're trying to find a way to connect. Find sometimes there's never a way to get back to that place, but we're hoping in the future that we do find a way to get back and work with that artist that we are disconnected from. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy Dark Ghost Volume 1. It'll be on vinyl. We are working with some folks to try to get this to be out there. Right now, we'll reveal, I work with Digger's Factory to do a limited edition 150 count version of this record on vinyl. It will be also distributed on Amazon.com as a CD. We're waiting for the approval on the vinyl. Hopefully Digger will let us go through, and we'll get out there. And we're hoping to have it in record stores. We're hoping to have it online through Diggers, and we'll be putting it out on Anchor, Links, and CNIN Pals, and everywhere else that we find ourselves. So thank you very much.
Just look at my arm, getting much, much harder. by your charm. I know what you do, and it's plenty wrong. And just look at my arm. Do it, don't. Do it, what you want. Do it, don't. Do it the way you want. I'm devastated by your charm. But just look at my arms. I'm devastated, we'll do that self-harm. I know that you're wrong. I'm devastated by your charm. I've been all along. I know I'm in the right, you're in the wrong. But I do play along. Take a good look at my arms. I did that harm. I did it all night long, and I do it for your charm. Devastating charm. Do it wrong. Do it all night long. Do it for the harm. I'm so devastated by your charm. I'm so devastated by your charm. Take a look at my arms. I'm so devastated, I'll do that self-harm. And I know it's wrong. I'm in the right, and you're in the wrong. And do it all night long. If you do it all night long, it's still wrong. Still wrong. I'm devastated by your charm. And do it all night long. I'm devastated and you're not wrong. You're the one with the charm. There's something in my brain that just kicks on. And I wanna get lost.
We could go bathe in deep green. We could go bathing in the sea. That deep green. You could lay your damage on me. We could go laying in deep green. You could lay your damage on me. You could lay your damage on me. In the deep green. Lay it on, Josephine. I know your feet. I know what you need. In the darkness of the sea. In the fountain of that deep green. You can lay your damage on me. I'll let it bleed. I know it's so soon. But what you need. Lay damage on me. Lay damage on me. We could lay in a deep green. We could lay in a deep sea. We could lay in that deep green. Oh, you know what I mean. Oh, we could lay in a deep green with Josephine. It don't have to be me. All you have to do is lay your damage on me. Lay all those things and lay it on me. Oh, I take it all I need. What you lay on me. In that deep green of the blue sea. need. In the depths of where we're gonna be. You're gonna have to depend on Josephine. Bathing that deep green. Oh, bathing that deep sea. Oh, baby, darling, baby. Baby, darling, with me. In the depths of big green. Lay your damage on me. In the depths of big green. Oh, lay your damage on me. Lay your damage on me. Miss Josephine. It could be time. Show everything you need. Lay your damage on me. It could be clean. It could be everything in between. In the depths of that big green. In the depths of that big green, it could be everything you need. Lay your damage on me. In the depths of that big green, it could be everything you need. Lay your damage on me. In the depths of the sea, where the dolphins wanna be. Lay your damage on me. There's everything you need. There's everything you need. There's everything you need. In the depths of big green. And it's everything you need. In the depths of big green. Lay your damage on me. Everything I see. Like baby big green. And that's what you need.
This is an update to this episode of The Road to the Dark Ghost. Our album is now available for pre-order on Digger's Factory. And if you go out to www.diggersfactory.com /my dash project /226598 /orders. And the link is out there, but I'll do it again. It's https:// www.diggersfactory.com /my project /226598 /orders. This album is now available on vinyl for pre-order. It's a 2 vinyl project. It's $24 plus shipping and handling. Comes out to a total of $34.50. It is a limited edition, only 197 copies available. And we're not putting it on CD until we actually sell all of the vinyl. So it won't be available for download until we sell all the vinyl. So this is just an update to this episode. Thanks.